to find out as we move into the pick and ban for Game 4. Again, as you mentioned, KT Rolster back on the blue side. And they're going to start things off with this Malzahar ban yet again.
Yeah, Malzahar, Vlad, Tarek were their 3 bans in Game 3. Let's see how SKT are going to rewrite the script, because Gnar and Jhin are both viable bans for SKT.
Yeah, Shen off the board again.
Interesting that they're really prioritizing that Tarek, considering if KT goes for a lane dominant strategy again, they don't really have to worry about the Tarek.
Just want to ban that one away. We'll see what SKT wants to go for here. So Leah, Karma, the bans from Game 3. It'll be Vladimir coming back out. We saw and kind of questioned that initially, that KT had banned the Vladimir in the last game. But going back over to SK Telecom, they'll pick up the reins on taking that one off the board.
Interesting, because it does free up a ban for KT, more or less. They could go back to a Trundle or a Maokai ban here if they want to.
Let's see, so far Gangplank still available. Gnar's on the board. It will be the Trundle. So good call on that. We'll see what the final ban from SK Telecom is going to be. Kind of have to think it's going to be that Talia.
Now the question is, how far has Gnar increased in priority in this draft? Is the Gnar first pick worthy, or is it going to be the Rek'Sai again?
The Rek'Sai looks so clean. Whether it was the lanes or it was blank on the Gragas, lanes certainly seem like the most likely, but regardless, I think Score's increased level of performance and the dives they could make compared to the more reactionary Gragas we've had so far. It's been 3 wins with Rek'Sai between KT and SKT, so they will go with the Rek'Sai first.
SK Telecom, they're not going to make this mistake again. They go for the Gnar, lock that one down, make sure they keep it in the hands of Someday. So if he wants to go for the Gangplank, he'll be working in that uphill battle.
Yeah, that's the question for Someday. Does he want to play the reverse matchup? Is he confident? Is KT willing to take their foot off the pedal and try and go for a late game here? It would be a very different way to win than the way they won in the last game, and they are going to go for the Jhin one more time, and it looks like it may be Jhin GP.
I think they're going to need some lane dominance out of mid lane. A Karma, for example, that has made it through picks and bans to facilitate the more risky top lane.
Well, the Karma ban was done by SKT because it is the easiest way to team fight with GP in the late game. You give him some extra survivability and speed. So, especially with Jhin GP, I expect to see a mid lane Karma if it isn't taken away by SK Telecom. Problem is, if you're SKT and you take the Karma here, you're dealing with a very low damage composition. You already don't have a carry top or jungler.
Karma Sivir, I guess, could be.
It'd have to be.
It'd have to be. Sivir is the late game 80 carry for damage. I think you have to deny the Karma.
Yes. I mean, this was their staple back at the beginning of the split that they would run, and then, when teams finally started taking down SK Telecom, it was by banning away both of these champions. So they are comfortable with running both of these.
Also, Bang is the highest DPM player in the league. He is capable of solo carrying SK Telecom, as we've seen on multiple occasions, but again, it is a huge burden on the Sivir to do a lot of damage in the late game.
Now, when you see Karma Sivir, I think Achani has to have pause, considering a champion like Bard, almost impossible to hit the Bard ultimate when you're going to have so much movement speed and dash on the side of SKT.
I mean, also the curtain call. It's going to make it considerably more difficult to land those shots.
I think you take Nami here, actually, if Achani is comfortable on that champion, just because it allows you to disengage effectively with the Tsunami.
Definitely the chance of that. We're looking for a mid lane pick as well. Can't go too risky because they have that Gangplank, who is expected to take so much pain in the top lane against Gnar. And wow, he's flashing the Nami at least, so heavily considering it as Monty does some gyrations in the booth. Tom Kench is also something worth considering, but what's the mid laner? Because it almost feels like you want a safe control mid laner. This would not be that.
This would not be that at all.
Oh boy.
This would be the first time we've seen New Rise picked in Korea.
Yeah, we haven't seen it since the changes came through. We saw it in a couple different regions, EU especially.
Yeah, I would think Aurelion Sol is the more obvious pick here for Fly.
Yeah, a lot more open map, semi-global presence there. Just drift on down across. You have the curtain call, open up a big zone, as well as that Abyssal Voyage, the Void Rush, and the Cannon Barrage. So KT have a lot of tools that they can utilize. So will be that Aurelion Sol locked up, and now just yet again looking for a last pick support.
Could also be a mid laner.
That's very true. They could just flex the Karma down into bottom.
Yeah, Faker changing his summoner spells right there makes me think this is going to be that Cassiopeia. We talked about it last game, 6-0. Faker is undefeated champion with the most wins.
I really like to enter the Echo because it denies phase dive. The Aurelion Sol certainly doesn't have any abilities like that, so this would be purely just punishing a champion that's very short range. Still going to be a hard matchup, but we know the Aurelion Sol playstyle. He fits in more backs than any other champion because he can just fly back to lane with his E. It's an awkward thing to say, fly for fly, but it works out for Aurelion Sol and it works out for KT.
I like the choice of summoners here from KT too. They're running double exhaust into the short range Cassiopeia and Sivir damage, so they're going to be able to get off both exhausts, most likely on both of the carries from SKT if they team fight properly.
And this Cassiopeia, if he ever overextends for damage after Gangplank is 6, the Gangplank ult comes in, the Rek'Sai flash on burrows, and that is going to be a dead Cassiopeia.
Yeah, it'll be really easy to lock him down, but we know Faker, we know this pick for him. If he can get ahead and get rolling, he is not going to have any trouble outputting damage onto the enemy team here of KT Rolster. Of course, also offers up some potential for earlier Barons with the Cassiopeia. Still consistent damage, so that is going to be an imminent threat that SK Telecom can push onto KT. See how they're going to deal with that. But now, do or die time for SK Telecom. Again, they win here, they close out above KT Rolster, they move on to the finals, and they confirm themselves for the World Championship. So everything on the line, KT Rolster going to be looking to find another win and keep the dream of a reverse sweep alive.
Keep your eyes on the jungle. It was all about Blank in the end of Game 1 and especially Game 2, and then Score turned it on in Game 3. He's on the Rek'Sai, and the series so far has gone with the Rek'Sai.
Yeah, we'll see if Blank can have a better game on that Gragas or if Score is still just going to run away with it. Definitely going to be looking to get someday ahead on that Gangplank. Let's go ahead, get right onto the Rift for Game 4. KT looking to crawl back in. All right, and an Infernal Drake yet again.
Wow.
Where did all the oceans go?
Hot damn. They dried up.
Global warming going on here, boys.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
the
that's definitely
oceans,
for sure. If we're in Seoul right now, it has been hotter than hell in this city.
I mean, the oceans get bigger with global warming because it melts the polar ice cap.
Okay,
But
just stop.
Good,
Stop.
Good try,
Stop,
Papa
Achilles. Let's
Smithy,
talk
you
about the play-by-play. That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. All of the action. Just letting you know. Fly. It's just going to hover around. See
How you
KT
feeling,
Rolster.
Monty?
See, the KT fans, they have a reason to lift these again.
You weren't feeling the victory after the start of Game 3. How about Game 4, Monty?
You were pretty tilted.
KT Monty, how you feeling?
I feel like I would have rather have seen the Nami this game. Yes, the Tahm Kench is good, of course, with the Jhin and the GP, but I think that the key was really the lane dominance, right? And I think the Nami would have given them more pressure. Because they lose that, of course, the Sivir-Karma combination, very good at early game poking. I don't know how I feel about this. It's definitely a change of pace for KT. They do have to win this game in a different way than they won their last one. It's not going to be win lane, win game anymore, that's for sure. They're only going to get small Krug.
But it's a bonus. No,
It's a bonus Krug.
certainly no Grumps allowed for SKT.
Nice zoning Q, though. Giving Bang a little bit more time with the minion wave, trying to cut down early caster minion.
Well, maybe Hachani just hasn't practiced up on that Nami. It's been a while since he's played it. It's been over a month since KT lost their set to a Freak of Freaks. It's the last time that he brought that champion out.
Yeah, it's actually been Wolf has been the bigger Nami player. He's got 10 games in. Wraith also, notably.
He started off the season playing pretty much exclusively like Nami
He
and
was
Soraka.
not the only one. Nami was a really big pick for about 3.5 weeks and then fell off a cliff until recently.
Yeah. Not really sure what even happened to make that occur, but it's all right. She's working her way back in as best as she can. You can see mid laner's really just roaming around looking for some vision so far. Not going to find too much of anything. Stun not going to connect on the Faker. Fly just looking to harass out as best as he can. Has that corrupting potion though, so he'll be all right. Sustain back up. One more charge. Faker opting in for the Doran's ring. So added mana sustain with that Twin Fang passive.
He missed the cannon.
And he messed up. Pressure in the bottom lane. Zero is pushed back away from the tower and away from these minions. Monster Q's from Wolf really doing some damage.
It's not a fun existence for Jin and Tom Kent.
This is why I wanted the Nami. But SK Telecom reversing the pressure from game number 3 to game number 4, seeing if they get some chip damage down early. KT, they're going to be the ones waiting for scaling.
Now, Fly doesn't have heal, so those trades that he likes to take certainly get more risky.
Trying to bait Faker in, gets the stun.
He cannot stay there too long.
Yeah, Fly going really low, so he'll blow out the exhaust. Get the ghost away from Faker, but Score just not able to move up fast enough. Didn't want to go for the flash knock-up. Try to solidify that kill, but Fly was really playing with fire for a second there.
I mean, a lot of the best moments for Fly's Aurelion Sol have been smart heals and flashes to open space and then expanding the W. He's been really good at that, but can't play with fire as closely or will burn you without that heal.
Yeah, and Score couldn't flash in right there because if he committed to that and Blank showed up, it would have been
disaster.
Yeah, disaster. No way for Fly to follow up. So Score made the right call. Not overcommitting to that without knowledge of SK Telecom's jungler.
For now, we get this fun matchup up in the top lanes. The Doran Shield coming through for Duke.
I know, it's a pretty cool meta where like getting solo killed is pretty standard stuff, as is the way with top lane gameplay. Fly.
Yeah, Fly getting aggressed on. Score's waiting. Let's go for another bait scenario, looks like.
Fly actually put off a point-blank Star Surge, his Q to stun up Faker as he drove by. That was important there.
It's nice. They're staying safe for the time being. Score's still hovering around, got spotted out. The pings come down. They have that ward over the wall. So Will just be keeping track of that Rek'Sai. And Blank is just going to stick around in mid as long as he has to ensure that Faker is going to remain safe. Looks like he's going to go ahead, back off, get that first buy coming through. We already know where Fly's going to be going. Has that Ruby Crystal in the inventory. So just going to be looking for that catalyst as quickly as he possibly can get it.
Problem is, KT's getting dominated in the mid and bottom lanes so far. When it comes to those CS advantages, that's really going to be helping them out.
Sunday's hurting as well. Has that wave to catch, but see the pressure from the Gnar yet again, just winning out that matchup innately.
I mean, to some degree, it's 3 losing lane matchups for KT, but certainly not to the extent that SKT kind of opted into those in the previous game. They do have some hope in this game, KT, of staying competitive, so it's about 10 CS abound across the lane.
Sunday really taking a beating here. Able to pick up a good amount of those minions, but still lost out on about 3 or 4.
Gonna try and boulder and deny this back.
Yeah, he'll be able to hit it too. That's going to be a big kill threat now as Duke has hit that level 6. And you can see he didn't misclick on his ultimate, so he does in fact have that one ready to go. Yep, I told you, it's just the better in the 1v1.
It's cannon minion wave too, so that's awkward timing for Someday.
He'll burn out the teleport, gets back, but
Missed the
he's
cannon.
not going to be able to get the cannon, so it's going to be pretty detrimental for him. He'll make up for the gold with the parlay, but still could have been that much further ahead.
I mean, experience-wise also, he loses out a lot there. Still is not level 6, actually just pinged it as I say that.
Duke uses his TP to rejoin the lane.
That is a really awkward lane spacing for Fly. He has no way to get to the minion wave. He needs his jungler right now to help him push.
Oh boy. Well, he's at the Wolves at the moment.
No, there's literally nothing he can do.
Yeah, Fly, this is...
Faker's also level 6, so there's not really a way you can engage that or walk up.
Through here as well.
Really smart timing from SKT. Blank was not moving to bait in potentially the Rek'Sai.
Well, that'll be the Raptors going over to Blank. He's able to take a camp away. Score now going to be struggling a little bit to stick around in the jungle. We can see Chani roaming up, maybe looking to make a play. Fly here as well. It'll be a 3v3, but they have to be scared about that Cassiopeia. And Arrow, oh man, he is really falling behind now. 48 to 64 in CS.
I mean, there's nothing he can do. It doesn't matter if he has a friendly there or not. He is at the whim of the opponent laners, which is not ideal when you're a Jhin. Now, things can change very fast. They do have Gangplank ult to give some global pressure, given both TPs are down in the top lane. But for now, it's painful for KT.
They're going to have to get rolling. So far just has that serrated Dirk, so still a ways away from the Yomu's Ghost Blade. And Bang going to be going straight for that BF sword, likely for the Essence Reaver.
We need Score to make a move somewhere if KT are going to get some lane pressure. Speaking of lane pressure.
Yeah, Sunday's pretty far forward. Blank has the flash there. They try to go in for the play. Duke sitting in the brush.
Will there be greed here from Sunday?
Looks like it. He's moving up. Meanwhile, Bot Score coming down, trying to start something up. On the hunt gets popped. Bang, gonna take a bunch of these shots from the curtain call. Fourth one will fly straight and true, but they're not able to find the kill. Duke goes in though. Will scoop up Someday. Gets that kill coming in, but he'll be answered back with the help of the turret and that cannon barrage coming down. So all in all, not the worst case scenario for Someday.
This is actually by far the more worrying thing is the mid lane where the CS lead has gone from 5 to 6 to 25.
Yeah, this is really bad. Faker just zoning out Fly on every single wave, just making sure he can't even get in range really. Oh, gonna dodge that ultimate there. Fly just gets slowed up as he turns his back.
Now, all Score has been able to do to help mid lane is steal blue, but he's going for a dive.
Bang getting rooted down, doesn't have the spell shield. He'll get popped up, and that'll be a kill coming in for Arrow and Bot. 2-1 on the board. KT finally making some proactive moves.
KT really needed that kill onto Arrow, so fantastic that they were able to get it. That's going to relieve a lot of pressure off of the bottom side of the map. Score coming up big with the Rek'Sai.
Yep, yet again, gonna have to focus a little bit more onto this mid if he can. Clear out some vision, which will make it easier. Fly walking up, gets the stun in. Score coming in, gets the burrow. Exhaust on a Faker, he'll flash away. So let's just get that summoner spell out. He's gonna flash right back in. His Faker gets way too cocky. And Score says, all right, you wanna play this game? Let's go. Takes him to town, takes him out. Faker just getting way too over-aggressive.
Wow, that was a huge mistake by Faker. I can't believe he came in like that, cocky, thinking that Score wouldn't go for the all-in. But Score sees that opportunity, baits him out, and there's a death for SKT.
Score says, oh, hell yeah, I'll take that.
I mean, Fake is so used to being the alpha dog, and Score's like, I've been around longer than you. He's the one who knows his limits, and something cathartic about seeing Faker punished.
Well,
I mean,
this is what Score's fighting for.
I mean, KT's fighting back. They have that gold lead now. They've got better scaling into the late game. So KT, I think they've got some time to work here. If Someday can get big on this GP, there's a real shot we go into Game 5. And I mean, especially for Score, how sweet would it be to get revenge on the reverse sweep that he suffered as an AD carry in 2013 in the Summer Finals? To come back and do it this way would be glorious for Score.
That's 3 years worth of rage he's been holding on to, Monty, and that's been 3 years of disappointment. They've lost to SKT so many times. And that time, here comes
Missile Voyage, Cannon Barrage thrown down, Bang gonna get slowed up, curtain call coming through. Fourth and final shot, not gonna connect. Oh, there it is, that was the fourth shot. I miscounted. And that is gonna be another kill onto the Sivir. Duke looking for the play, throws at the boulder, but doesn't want to dive in. And it's a good thing that I'm not being threatened by Dirty Harry, because I do not know how to count bullets, it would appear. So I definitely would lose out in that context.
I mean, what did Score famously say a year ago before the Summer Final? I want to get the win for Score. Duke gets the solo kill inevitably on Someday.
All right, so that's 2 times that Someday's gotten solo killed in this series.
The Score said, I want to get the win for Ryu, because some say he's still dying to Faker.
Yep.
Well,
the Ryu revenge.
It's just Someday. He's still dying to Duke.
Ryu's revenge kind of sounds like a ride that would be like Lotte World.
No, that's Capcom. You know, it's a Street Fighter thing.
They do say in Korea that Ryu dies every minute.
Nice juke back by Fly, not going to get caught up. Johnny's coming in. Voice of Light, use Faker going low, will get devoured up. Wolf and Blank arriving to try to stop this kill from coming through, but there's just nothing they can do. Someday going to finish channeling out the teleport just for good measure. They get the kill on Hachani, so not the best allocation, but another kill is still good here as far as KT is concerned.
Wow, well, KT continuing their role, probably didn't need to use the teleport right there, so SK Telecom has a chance to strike back a little bit, even things up with a teleport advantage, but Faker really losing control of this mid lane. And
look at this.
This is what happens every time there's Nara versus King.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who's playing. Duke has also been in this situation before in the reverse matchup, so it's not very surprising to see this go this way.
What is Someday got baited for a last hit?
He just like jump in and get the Gnar ultimate? Yep.
Someday, don't melee range a minion.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Well, That's how it goes.
Well, the worst thing is that, like, Mini knows more damage for the Gangplank to deal with, so it wasn't a safe haven for him in any way.
Yeah. Well, someday going to be a bit further behind here, 89 to 110. As far as the CS goes, still working on building up that Trinity Force.
I think the reprieve that Fly has gotten, Achilles, in the mid lane, you know, the gang from Score into the wraparound.
He's still down by about 17 CS, so.
But he's got the 2 assists.
Yeah, exactly. The 2 assists are certainly helping.
And it's a reprieve. That's the thing, is the pressure was one way. It was Faker dominating the lane. Then we saw Score take the enemy blue buff, dive bottom, and then kill Faker in the middle. That's like the triumvirate of making things happen for his team. So we wondered where Score was in the first 2 games.
Oh boy, Blake gonna get popped up the roof, not gonna connect as Blake does flash away, but the bullets are coming down. The cannon barrage for good measure to slow him up. Score gets popped even closer to him. Last shot comes through, and Arrow will get the connection. Wolf has to flash over the wall to get away from Hachani.
KT is styling on SKT.
They are getting dunked. Blue buff gonna get taken away. You can be damn sure that is gonna be the Infernal Dragon going over to KT as well. Duke maybe looking for a play up top. Faker on the roam. Someday gets stunned in. Nice cleanse off. Will dodge out on the wall up. Turret goes over onto Duke. Still pretty low though on this Gangplank.
As much vision as you can have possible there. Pink ward.
Oh boy, Abyssal Voyage. They're going to try to turn this around. They come in underneath the tower as the Infernal Dragon goes down. They're not able to get in range of Duke, as he is just going to be able to hop out to safety, but KT are still just making moves and coming up with objectives.
And there was no cost to that rotation from the Abyssal Voyage because they already had the kill bottom. They're pushing up, Scores zoning the Sivir away.
Oh, they get the spell shield out with a Praise Seeker. They're going to burn the teleport to hold on to this tower. Duke will cancel it out in the end.
Well, he was never going to actually take that TP. That was just a bait to force them to back off
Voice
right
of Light.
Fly on the Faker. Fly dashing forward, stuns him
Is he going to solo kill him?
He looks like it. No, the flash. Fly not going to follow through. Would have been really risky. Blank was there waiting in the wing. So good control there by Fly to not go too ham.
You definitely don't flash there. SKT knows exactly where your jungler is. You have no idea. Do not flash in that situation. You got enough. You got 2 summoners, and you forced Faker back out of the lane in that situation. I think he is sticking around because Fly recalled, but the advantage still very heavily in KT's favor. Fly now going to pop up and cover the top lane while Someday see if they can get a gank here. Be hard without the Voice of Light.
Yeah, just wants to try to hold on to that tower by the look of it, because they're so close to losing one of their own. They want that first tower gold. Fly is floating his way up here slowly and steadily.
Duke has
the flash. It's going to be the barrels coming down. They'll chain it in. They'll get the slow up. Duke, he's just going to die.
All right.
What?
Okay, then. Fly gets another kill. Or a kill.
Ah, the front door approach. Running at the enemy who doesn't flash.
That wasn't like they rang the doorbell. Duke looked through the flap and saw like who was waiting and just like, oh yeah, come on in. And then they punched him in the face.
I mean, he did know that Someday and Fly both had flash up
Sure.
and could have followed him, so maybe he's just saving it for later. But I think he could have gotten both of their flashes out for one of his, even if he would have died.
Score taking a hell of a lot of damage from Faker. The Cassiopeia is still doing some relevant damage, but
Voice
the
of
Cannon Barrage thrown down. Faker gonna get popped up. Nice on Burrow from Score. They take him down. Fly finds the kill. The curtain call opened up. They want to give that one over to Arrow. Unable to do it. As Score, good problems. He just does too much damage. So they find another 2 kills. That's 9-2 for KT Rolster.
Fly has now contributed to 3 different kills while his ultimate was down that entire time. Didn't even need it, as KT just keeps outnumbering SK Telecom on the map.
He's been a part of 2/3 of the kills.
And the kill distribution, the fact that Arrow picked up so many of those kills, snowballed that Youmu's, parts of an Essence Reaver, a building block item at best.
And now, first brick.
That's a pretty late first brick,
Yeah.
but it's going to be a second brick pretty soon.
Yeah, don't really get anything
Just a bit of
that.
global gold, nothing
Just
important.
some more global gold, but nothing unique for the second brick. They're not going to be able to knock it down yet, though. But Ocean Drake will finally see one. So the global warming was real. So Ocean Drake will be coming out here as our second dragon. And that's just going to be a little cherry on the top for KT Rolster if they pick that up.
Well, I mean, Duke is going to at least be able to answer the turrets here. Everybody from SK Telecom on this side of the map, they're going to try and go after the Rift Herald. as a consolation prize for losing that Infernal Drake. It is going to go down very quickly with Faker there.
Now this is actually pretty big for SKT, and you might think, okay, but they're going to give the buff to Gnar, doesn't get the full value anyway. But what they need to do is actually continue applying this pressure on top, pushing the minion wave in, and the Baron control of Cassiopeia is massive. That's the thing. If they can run the top side of the map, get a Baron.
Poison Light used on the Faker. Nice dodge out yet again by Fly, turning around perfectly for the ultimate, and they pick up another kill.
You interrupted me. Stop getting solo killed in mid, then they can take it back.
All right. Fly really just doing...
There's an asterisk on that point.
This is why the Aurelion Soul bans come through for KT. He is very difficult to stop on this champion.
Well, it's going to be the good call here. Bang, popping on the hunt. Just have the second one. Wolf beats the third. Fourth bullet being held. He's just going to cancel that one as they run out of the zone.
It is really hard for him to hit the shots against the Sivir Karma combo. That is brutal, but they apply enough pressure. They get the kill into Faker. Now they turn it into a mid lane tier 1 turret, and KT rolling here, looking like they may be forcing a game 5.
Looking for it. The tower taking a good amount of damage as score goes in, but doesn't have enough threat. So Bang and Wolf will be able to stick around. They'll hold on to that tier 2. Blue buff about to spawn should be taken away by KT. And they can just get all of the deep vision they could possibly want in preparation for this dragon in a minute 20.
Let's zoom out a little bit, talk about some meta things. Now, we saw earlier this week that dynamic side select is available in LCK. So far, we've had KT on blue side 4 games in a row. I think SKT, with choice of side in Game 5, have to go blue side and have to first pick the Rex side.
I think it's going to be banned if they do it. Because right now, KT... they're not going to feel pressured to ban the Taric, probably, or the Trundle. They have a lot more wiggle room, I feel, than SKT does, because SKT is banning the Taliyah. They are banning the Shen. These are champions that apparently they are very uncomfortable with KT having, which makes sense considering that Fly and Someday have been excellent on both of those champions. And at a fundamental level, I think KT is a better team playing around globals, or playing with globals, than SK Telecom is. So they've been trying to hack into that.
SKT might be looking for a gank here. Johnny walks forward, throws down the ward. He's safe
now,
enough.
If that was Hachani a couple of years ago, he certainly would have investigated that with his face.
A couple of years ago, last split, we could say, really.
Especially early last.
We don't have to throw back that far. But, this is going to be Arrow.
It's
going to be the Korean sniper. Bang pops the heal, gets it. It's not going to be enough to kill him off the 4th shot, but it's not going to land anyway someday. Meanwhile, that's going to be the 3rd time he gets solo killed in the series.
I mean, you just expect that in this matchup at this point. It happens to everybody.
I mean, Duke getting killed 3 times by ADD was telling enough for the matchup of the Gnar and the GP.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter either. It doesn't matter if you get killed if you're Someday, because in the late game when Gnar is looking to try and get ultimates on your team, he has to wade through a field of barrels that take him down to 50% HP.
Now, if they lose 2 turrets, that would certainly be a bigger problem. They won't lose mid as Aurelion Soul is there, but he's going to get a big push onto the other turret.
Oh, Voice of Light used yet again. That's going to be the Abyssal Voyage coming in. Hachani with score into flash forward, gets the pop-up. Faker flashes away. That's not going to be the ultimate connecting. Throws out the miasma to slow him up, get a little bit of damage, but yet again, flash, ghost, and ultimate all burned out.
They really wanted the flash off Faker. That's why they were willing to trade it for the Rex side. As we're going to see Someday not watching.
He was literally just sitting there watching his
cannon. He was watching his cannon barrage.
No, he just threw it down.
Oh, man.
He was literally just watching the fight for the
let me put it this way.
tier 2.
He was watching 2 cannon barrage, yes.
And then
oh dear. Someday you've played this game for too long to do that.
I mean, every GP player has had a death like that too.
Yeah. It's alright. Just don't let it happen again. Ocean Drake started up score. It's not worth going in for this one. They'll just hand this one over. They saw the Infernal Drake and they can get another one.
I mean, you take a turret over an Ocean Drake.
I like the roll of the die that we got today with these dragons.
I mean, KT getting to swap a top turret they would have no business getting if Gnar was in lane for an Ocean Drake. They're probably just fine with it. They'll be in position for the Infernal Drake in 6 minutes' time.
Yeah, and I mean, Duke hasn't been able to itemize in for the team fight. You know, wants to dominate that lane with the Frozen Mallet and the Black Cleaver. Hasn't gotten something like the Randuin's Omen so that he can really eat the damage that Arrow's going to be outputting. So with this massive armor penetration build that Arrow has, as he's now working towards his third item. He is going to be shredding that Gnar.
It is a bit hilarious that Trinity Force Youmu's and then Duskblade Youmu's being answered by no armor. Literally none at all.
Well, there hasn't been a lot of money,
Yeah,
Smithy. That's
true.
the problem. And, you know, if you want to dominate, that's the other problem, is if you want to dominate the GP with the Gnar, you have to go Frozen Mallet and then into the Black Cleaver so you can solo kill him. But again, in team fights, the GP just does a lot more because he can take 3 members now of your team down to 50% HP with 1 barrel.
I think when we saw ADD get the first solo kill on Duke, he actually beat him. Well, Duke had a Trinity Force and he only had a Phage.
I mean,
So it actually doesn't take very much to beat the crap out of that Gangplank, but you're really going all in with the Frozen Mallet and Black Cleaver.
and the thing is, offensively and team fight wise, I think a Gnar ult where you reapply the Black Cleaver 5 times is better than a Randuin's. Gnar is basically in a team fight an ult bot, and the first W, and then he kind of just runs around and auto attacks. So
Oh boy,
Bang.
looking for Bang yet
He got
again.
hit.
Flies there. Bullets coming through. Fourth one, can he get it? No, not going to clip him in time, but scores moving forward.
No
Looking
flash.
for the play. No flash available for the Rek'Sai. Cannon Barrage turned down, not going to really find anybody. So Bang will make it out yet again, but he's got to be feeling pretty upset in this game because they've just been targeting him out time and time again. I've only been able to kill him twice, but they just keep trying for it.
there's the flash down as well. So Summoners at a premium, still Faker and no flash. Bang now, no flash.
Yeah, all they had to use were ults for that. Meanwhile, 2 summoners used from SK Telecom. Faker.
Yeah, the root not going to come through. And that's just going to be a little bit of a scuffle over this vision control in the upper river, which is going to be more and more important, especially for KT Rolster, because we saw SK Telecom, do this before, sneak in in game 2 over the wall with that cog ball with the Tom Kenshin, take away the Baron. Now with that Cassiopeia, could be looking to make a similar play. So KT needs to maintain as much vision control as they possibly can that upper side. 25 minutes just about on the clock. At this time 2 games ago, SK Telecom are wrapping things up. Looking like it was going to be a 2-0, but now KT looking like they might be able to go the distance. Square off against the Rocks Tigers in the final.
Early days on that prediction just now.
We'll see. Duke going to take a lot of damage, gets rooted down. Score though. Gonna get answered. Knocks down to half. Fly coming in, has that Celestial Expansion, will force out the flash from the Gnar. The
big
TP coming in
TP.
the backside from Someday, throws out the Cannon Barrage, flashes away, trying to create some distance. Faker's coming in from behind him. Does have a lot of damage. This could be a turnaround for SK Telecom potentially. The Power coming through. Big shots on the Wolf. The Celestial Expansion not going to kill him in time. He gets a shield off cooldown. KT might be looking to continue this push in mid. So they might just peel back. Faker is still very healthy. They'll say, you know what, let's just let that one go.
I don't really think TPing into the back line to GP is a great idea from Someday. Didn't actually get punished for it, though. Fly did not have his ultimate up for the most of that fight. It just came back up when the dust was settling, so there wasn't enough really CC there to follow up on the very aggressive, needlessly so, teleport there from Someday.
Credits for inventiveness, though. If we're going to reward mid lane echo with Protobot, we got to reward flank teleport Gangplank.
Wow, that scared me.
Flank plank.
Flank, exactly.
Let's call him the flank plank.
Flank plank is definitely terrible, so KT.
Unless you can flank from behind a wall, when it's in the middle of the lane.
No, that was a very conspicuous in the
Yeah.
middle of 5 people to teleport.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. KT not going to lose a whole lot for that. Faker now getting that Seraph's Embrace completed, so we'll have that big shield that's going to help him stay alive from these repeated ganks and catch-outs that he's been finding himself in.
Well, we're back to the Baron control game here.
My favorite game.
Wow, this is where they want to start making these picks if you're KT. It's still early for you to actually go after this Baron.
Oh, going on to Bang yet again. Eats 1 bullet. He'll eat 2. 1 more would do it. Can he bend it? Blank is doing his damnedest to try to body block, and Arrow says, fine, I'll just shoot Wolf instead. Not going to get a whole lot done. But they're able to get the on the hunt down yet again for Bang.
Yeah, but score shouldn't have flashed there. With the on the hunt still up, and especially because Blank was just sitting there with the explosive cask off cooldown, really easy to deny that engage. I think you just take what you can get. As I said, they overcommit and they lose a tool to engage, perhaps at a more reliable time to get a kill.
But now Score goes back and finally gets some armor. So getting closer and closer to opening up with the curtain call, zoning away a threat, and actually trying to threaten the Baron. So the items haven't been there in the first 27 minutes, but we're getting closer.
All right, well, KT looking to pitch in from the side. Wolf will get rooted down. The Celestial expansion is just melting him, and Arrow will come up with the kill. The rest of SK Telecom able to back off, but now the Dragon's up. SK Telecom don't have a support, and KT, they're just going to go ahead and try to get their second Infernal Drake.
Man, Arrow with this much armor penetration and 2 Infernal Drakes is a pick machine.
What's it with the GP? I mean, the barrels, we talked about this in game, one of this series with all the Infernal Drakes going over. This is a desperation, Baron.
The pings are coming out and they just can't do it. They'll back off immediately. Bang, gets knocked down below half HP from the Baron. And global warming will continue as Ocean Drake will be our 4th dragon. So, makes sense. Heat comes in, then you get an Ocean.
Yeah, you get more Ocean. Tide is rising. Well,
how very scientific.
How very scientific indeed. Well, see what KT is going to do here to close this one out. They should be pretty much on cruise control at this point forward, waiting until they can safely do that Baron. They are just going to be able to farm more of these minion waves too, with the mobility of the Aurelion Soul compared to the Cassiopeia.
Good amount of vision here for KT Rolster. Have that big horse that's been standing behind the Baron pit for a while.
Man, Devour lasts a long time.
Yeah. That's actually pretty absurd.
Crab delivery.
It's not even maxed yet.
Hand delivers.
That's level 3.
Scuttle Crab over to Arrow.
There's a dragon behind your mid-tier 1, no problem. Give it to the Jin, who can get that, what, 1,500 crit on the 4th shot.
Oh, Arrow.
Oh my.
Pops gets a nice hit in on the Bang. Do a little bit of damage there. You missed it. That final shot onto the Scuttle Crab did
1,500 damage.
Yeah.
And that's 29 minutes, 3 items in.
Yeah.
It gets bigger.
Yes. I think the biggest crit that we've seen, that I've seen, I think it was about 1,800 one of the games at one time.
I mean, obviously you do a lot more damage critting a minion than you do a champion, given the lower armor values on the minions.
Yeah, he did like 1,800 to a champion, I think.
That's pretty impressive.
I forget who it was. They were really far ahead, though. Maybe it was 1,600. Either way, it's just gonna look at this
efficiency.
So good.
I love watching Fly play Aurelion Soul.
It
It
really
is
is
very
a treat.
special.
You know, my dream for the rest of this series is that KT closes out this game, SK Telecom bans the Aurelion Soul, and then Fly plays Zillion.
That would be amazing, actually. But I don't think we're going to see it happen, unfortunately.
That's sad that
that's just what I want to see.
I'm just sad it's not blind pick, guys.
Yeah,
that's
too.
true.
Me too.
Fly says for Ryu, and he locks in Zed.
If they had like a gentleman's agreement to have a Zed off in the mid lane, that would be something.
I think all of the blind picks.
Well, it's KT versus SKT. Like this would be the Zed off.
Fly just yells for Ryu.
Faker tries to cleanse. It doesn't do anything.
That's true.
That would not do a damn thing. Cannon Barrage showed down now. Bang, gonna try to make it out of here. The bullet's still coming through. Not gonna get caught up. Arrow now has to catch up.
Johnny over pursued.
Yeah, Johnny going low, has the shield coming out, but it's not gonna be enough to keep him alive. Faker shows up and has a good amount of damage still on the Cassiopeia. Duke looking to hop forward, building up the Narbar, has a Guardian Angel available, and Fly is getting chunked pretty low. They're not gonna be able to pursue any further for some kills, but SKT pick one up. Johnny just goes in way too deep.
Yeah, he tried to flash, get 2 autos and Devour under a turret. That was certainly an over-pursual. They should have just backed away.
Yeah, they don't need to be playing desperate right now. They need to allow Arrow to really set up these picks with the Deadly Flourish. That should be the goal.
This is what cost them their series against SK Telecom in the regular split. They have to play a bit more cautiously and safely. Score going in for some vision to be able to make it back. That tunnel came up just in time. But he still takes more than 50% of his HP and damage there.
Surrender an objective, so they lose the minimum from that particular ill-advised plays they've been making. Worth noting that these 2 games they've run Rek'Sai, it's been the Rek'Sai Jhin combo that has so much synergy, makes Prey Seeker a pick target, a pick initiator, rather than just the 100 damage poke that it usually provides.
Void Rush coming out. Dragon getting ready to spawn. Will be our last one for the Elder Drake. In about 1 minute and 35. Double Ocean Drake for SKT. While not the end of the world, would certainly be annoying for KT to have to deal with. So they'll be looking to pick that one up for themselves. On top of their double Infernal. Now SK Telecom poking in, looking for some vision around Baron yet again, as most of their wards have been cleared or expired.
Arrow is getting perilously close to running out of armor pen items. Just got to finish his last Whisper.
Working his way towards it. Speaking of which, someday, Lord Dominic's regards done for him. And now going to be looking to get a little bit beefy, as that chain vest with the Hex Drinker in the inventory, so be looking for the Maul, Mount Mortius, and more than likely the Guardian Angel.
It'll probably be the Lord Dominic's for Arrow, but there is the healing from specifically the Gragas and the Cassiopeia that may be Mortal Reminder. Probably not necessary, but interesting to track where he takes that last Whisper upgrade.
Yeah. Just look how far ahead he is, though, compared to Bang. Oh, hold that thing. Speaking of Bang, going to be chipped down. Cannon Barrage to really slow him up. Voice of Light, and there it is. Fly coming up with the kill. The Abyssal Voyage comes through. Johnny just wanted to say hello.
He's tilted. He didn't even get an experience range. Yeah. Sad day.
No assist.
Well, they just want to kill Faker.
Yeah, that's going to be the bullets coming through. He's going to eat. Dude flashes over the wall. Wolf will take the rest. Score arriving a little bit too late to try to pinch in and finalize that kill, but with Bang down, that's a lot of the wave clear on the side of SK Telecom. KT, they can look to posture up and take out one of these towers. Looks like mid might be the most likely one someday. Meanwhile, he's going to just solo out this Ocean Drake.
Yeah, why not? Just stand there. You've already got so much damage.
It's fitting that the Pirate would be the one taking out the Ocean Drake. Score comes over the wall. Not going to find it. The root not going to connect on the Faker, but now he's zoned out by the barrels. Big pop-up comes through. Score going to get locked up by the Petrifying Gaze, and Faker's just trying to jet his way out, but a big barrel comes through from Someday. Flash forward from Fly, comes in with the Celestial Expansion, and they will take down the Cassiopeia. Duke going to get rooted despite the flash. He's still very tanky. He has a Guardian Angel. Looks like he'll be fine, but now KT Rolster can really start looking for these tier 2 towers.
They want Baron, but the wave clear is still good from Sivir. Very healthy, doesn't have flash, but still can sit back and wave clear. There's so much risk in Baron. Remember that KT almost botched Baron in game 3. Let Blank get into smite range, so they're gonna try for this instead.
Gonna get locked down. The GA gets popped immediately. It looks like they might just be able to follow up for the kill. He hops out, but it doesn't matter. A big shot comes through from Arrow. He takes him down. Bang doing his damnedest to hold on. He's just not able to clear out or get close to that tier 2 tower. It goes down, and KT just continue pressing the advantage. Now 10 kills up and almost 10,000 gold.
But SKT has done a very good job of playing with the side minion wave pressure so that KT cannot take as much as they would like to in these situations. For getting 2 kills, the fact that they had to fight so hard for a tier 2 in the mid lane isn't a lot to hang their hat on when the dust actually settles here. So KT have a chance now to regain this Baron control, but it has been elusive this game.
This is when things get a little bit scary for SK Telecom, because KT can basically threaten whichever objective they want. The Baron obviously going to be the more desirable one, but getting that Elder Dragon on top of the double Infernal Drake still going to be a nice acquisition for them.
Still haven't been able to get mid-turret at 36 minutes in. Also, just been KT smartly rotating around mid. We've talked about it in previous series, but they never give away free objectives. They're smart in denying that. Feels like Score was too pressured, so won't stick around to take down this turret, but the minions might actually do most of the work at least.
Get it pretty damn low, but another shot from Someday which finished it off. But just can't quite finish it out yet. Let's see, Duke, Guardian Angel, of course, getting popped in that last fight, just has that and the Randuins. So he's still just taking so much damage from this Aurelion Soul. 407. Fly has just been an absolute monster.
Such a calming champion, though, the Aurelion Soul.
It is. So pleasant to look at.
His ult has a great name, the Voice of Light. That sounds positive.
Except he's like a world-destroying dragon that just like
You
floats
wouldn't
around.
know it from him.
Just floats around the
cruising
cosmos.
around the rift.
He looks so
He like
serene.
floats around the cosmos, and he's just like, yes, this. And he like grabs a planet, like crushes it in his fist.
I just assumed that he liked flying to get a better look at all the nature and that. Oh,
If he has,
nice.
if he has that much power, what the hell is he doing? Just like
He's like sadistic.
bumming around with all these, you know, weaklings in Summoner's Rift.
Hey man,
Why doesn't he just take Root Terra and just own it all at once?
he just destroy it.
Yeah.
He can shatter the world. But yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't run the lore. Thankfully.
Yeah. It's not a good job. It's not a good job, Achilles.
No, there are some fun and interesting stories here and there. Does it make sense? No. But some of the backstories for the characters are somewhat interesting.
No.
That's fine. You have your opinions.
No, I have facts. It's okay.
Monster facts.
You have now subscribed to Monster Facts.
Well, KT needs to up their vision game, but they do have 4 pink wards in inventory right now. They need to really start pressing around this Baron, try and force a face check here like that.
No, they can't follow up for anything. They'll get a little bit of damage on the flank, but if they could just pick him off, that would be pretty much Baron locked down for them, barring a miraculous turnaround from the rest of SK Telecom. Curtain Call's going to open up as a nice angle on all these members. Wolf going to go low. The bullets coming through. Looks like they'll clip flank for the last one. Score gets whittled down to half. The root not going to come through onto Duke. He's ready to transform. It's a nice chunk of damage from the barrels. So they chains them together. And KT just gain a lot of pressure as they chunk out 3 members of SK Telecom, but still can't go for anything.
It's just never quite enough.
Oh, that might be. Faker has to flash away. Score goes forward. Can't find anything at SKT. They have to skirt back. Still good pressure from KT, but they just need to solidify a kill.
Had to use so many ults there, though, KT.
Cooldowns are pretty short on those ultimates, though. We'll have them up in about 25 seconds time.
Cannon Barrage still about 50% done. Still just can't tell with the curtain call, though. Not sure how that hasn't been fixed yet. It's really weird. Abyssal Voyage coming through.
We're going
into
deep.
the back. Yeah, they're going to come in right on top of Bang and Wolf. Score there. It's going to tunnel away. Can't get the knockdown. Blank going low. One more hit'll do it. Fly finds the kill. KT, they can either keep pressing for this or they can just back off and start going for Baron.
Remember, Blank's the one down, so no smite on the side of SKT, but a lot of AoE damage. They don't want to opt into a Mega Gnar pin against a wall, so maybe they should at least wait out that Gnar bar, but after that, maybe it's Baron time.
Might just be. You can see SK Telecom, no vision whatsoever inside the pit. KT, they're going to start this one up. Just moving forward, going to take a bit of harass here from Hachani, who's sitting in the front lines. Bang gonna spell shield off the root. Duke having to hop away, getting out of the range of this curtain call, but Faker takes a huge burst of damage. The Voice of Light comes through. He gets a nice petrifying gaze onto somebody at Hachani, but Fly over the wall with the Celestial Expansion is able to finish him off, and he's looking for more. They're gonna be able to get Bang. They're gonna be able to get Wolf. That's gonna be the ace for KT Rolster, and with 50 seconds on the clock, they might just jump down mid and try to go for the win.
Yeah, they don't have a great minion wave right now, and they still have 2 turrets up in the outer range in the side lanes, but they're going to definitely get an inhibitor here, and we'll see how much further they can go.
Yeah, Blank coming in, going to try to clear out the best that he can, but the structures are melting, and KT will be able to break the inhibitor line. Do they keep going is the question. Looks like they say yes.
So much
25
time.
seconds on Duke. Blank, the only one here to try to defend this, and he's just not going to be able to do enough. KT Rolster coming up huge here in Game 4. We're going to Game 5, baby. KT keeping the reverse sweep game dream alive as they take down SK Telecom twice in a row.
Wow, Score especially that game, really big credit for him. He bailed them out of a situation where their side lane turrets were getting chipped. It looked like they were going to be falling very far behind in lane CS, but he made it work, found the kills. Score definitely the MVP.
And think about the last 2 games. Faker had a counter pick from mid lane both times and was left wanting, first on the Kassadin, then on the Cassiopeia. I liked the Cassiopeia in the previous game to deal with Echo's mobility. This time around he thought, I'm just gonna hold down the Aurelion Soul, and it worked till it didn't. But that's the thing about Cassiopeia. Ghost Flash, you still overextend for damage, punished again and again, first by the Rek'Sai, then the Gangplank. Oh, did nothing in the last 3 team fights. And it's crazy that after those first 2 games, we have a final game to decide who goes to the final.
Now, an arrow, man. Once again on that Gen 2. I mean, KT, this is the shot. This is the moment Score has been waiting for 3 years. Ever since that finals in 2013, of course, losing the chance to even go to the World Championship as a result of that best of 5, knocking them into the gauntlet. And man, this would be sweet for KT Rolster.
And while we have the first biggest KT fan at the caster desk, the second biggest KT fans are the Rocks Tigers waiting at home. They would love to play anyone other than SK Telecom in the final of the LCK. And KT can book a date with Destiny against Rocks if they take down SKT in the last game.
Yeah, you know they're sitting there watching that, having their fingers crossed for these guys to go to the distance and close it out. We'll see if they're able to do so. We'll see if SK Telecom's going to swap over to that blue side or stick it out on red. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, we will have the explosive conclusion to this series. And we'll find out if SKT is going to be able to make it into Worlds guaranteed or if they have to play